This is a really interesting round. The venture firm leading it was Khosla Ventures, but Keith Raboy, who recently rejoined Khosla on the East Coast, kind of spearheaded this. Just explain the rationale behind doing the round.
I mean, there's a couple of things that, and by the way, thank you so much for having me. First, the rationale is the company is growing and we aim to accelerate it. Not only is Ramp one of the fastest growing businesses in U.S. history, but investors were deeply exciting. Keith the most, who's one of our board members, who saw the business at its large scale accelerating in growth. Typically, they tend to slow down as they grow. The rationale is to increase the pace of customers that we serve. We power over approximately 1% of all corporate card transactions in America. We want to serve the next 99%. But more than that, it's a high conviction bet, both by investors and by Ramp, to transform the way finance is done from highly manual, very tedious, to increasingly automated and leveraging the potential of AI to bring it to the average business.
Eric, you previously came on the show when you guys had done a down round, and you were really honest about the willingness to do a down round. This is an up round, and I just wondered how you think about the dynamic this time around.
I mean, for sure. I mean, look, I think that for all companies, being valued mark to market is a very good thing. Over the last summer, part of what we recognized is that it was really the fastest interest rate rise in really a 40-year period. And so even though Ramp had at that time grown by leaps and bounds, I think between rounds it had grown by 7 times over a year and a half period, we wanted to be valued fairly. Fast forward to now, just months later, Ramp's business has grown dramatically, and investor conviction has increased. And so we're thrilled that some of the best investors in the world, from public markets investors to extraordinary privates like Khosla Ventures, Founders Fund, Sequoia, Greylock, and others joining for the first time, they're thrilled for where Ramp is. But I think to invest at this valuation for the first time at this juncture, there is a high conviction belief that there is not just a 15% plus growth per year ahead of Ramp, but there's 10x plus more ahead. And so we're thrilled.
Eric, for the Bloomberg Technology audience member that's less financially inclined, mark-to-market meaning the method of getting fair value by benchmarking contemporaneously against similar companies. So I noticed on social media a lot of people were talking about your round. And so I went on social media and said you were coming on the show. And our audience on Bloomberg Technology actually had some pretty good and straightforward questions. One of them was, Eric, can you just simply explain what Ramp is and what it does? Which I thought was a pretty good starting point.
Of course. So the way to think about it, we built a command and control system for companies' finances. What this means is from a single place, company finance teams, business owners can issue cards, make payments of all kinds, manage approvals, and even automate accounting to close their books. And so this means that some of the tedious aspects, things like collecting receipts, tagging transactions properly, is done automatically for you. We surface up data in ways for companies to spend less. And the upshot is that the average company using Ramp is able to reduce their expenses by 5% per year, whether that's a publicly traded scale like a Shopify to earlier stage to even nonprofits like the Boys and Girls Club of America. And I think really what's different and interesting about Ramp is it's not only the tools and bones to make payments, but it is focused on how can you make people more productive with their time. Instead of having expense reports take an hour at the end of a month, have it be done for you and get your time back to focus on your core business. So that's how we think about it.
Eric, the other audience question I got for you was about you. You are generally regarded as a very nice person. I hear that a lot in my circles, at least out west as well. But the question from the audience was, are you needing to be a bit more ruthless at this stage of the company's growth as a founder CEO that's now playing at a pretty high level valuation-wise and scale-wise?
For us, look, the broader backdrop is I actually think the U.S. business environment has gotten much more mean and nasty for the average business owner. Most companies are reducing their investment in their products. They're hiking the prices. The value they're offering and the service level is going down. We want to lean in and doing the right thing. Having more capital allows us to not just be nice, but frankly offer better service. And the last time we were on the show, we were saving the average company on the order to 3 to 4% per year. We want to extend that idea of maybe, as you put it, being nice. We want the average company to save 5%, to be more productive. And we think over time, doing right by customers is what creates long-lasting and enduring businesses. And so it's not just a personality. We think it's a good way of doing business.